Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the last colored episode of this set review from Champions of Kamigawa Limited. So let's begin our green cards, Commune with Nature. So it's a sorcery. Look at the top five cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. I think this replacement level, not too good, not too bad. So, if you need creatures, you might play it. Glimpse of Nature, however, that's very good in Constructed, namely in Elves in Legacy. In limited, I'm not so sure. Like you probably want to cast like at least three creatures in the same turn, which you have to have a very low mana curve for this to work out. But you draw a card for each of them. So if your deck is built as such, like maybe this is a build around where you're gonna go a lot of cheap creatures and go from there. Yeah, I mean you can give it a try if you can draft around them, but I don't think it's very good in limited. Hanakami, it's a 1 mana 1/1. That's a green 1 mana 1/1, and for one and a green, you can sacrifice it and return target arcane card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, I don't know what's the overlap between green and arcane. It's pretty interesting. It's an uncommon, so it probably signals something. Like maybe there's Timur arcane deck. I don't know. Like, yeah, if you guys figure it out. Otherwise, the card wouldn't be that impressive. Jukai Messenger, so it's a 1 mana 1/1 human monk with forest walk. Yeah, I mean, occasional upside, if you can do anything better, but usually I would avoid probably these one drops and start my curve higher so you can trade better. But yeah, that's it. Kodama's Might. So it's one green for an instant arcane target creature gets +2/+2 on the end of turn and splice onto arcane. I think this card is very very good. Like the fact that you can splice it, if you can reuse this combat trick 3 times, and it doesn't really matter if the cat is out of the bag really or they know the joke is coming. It's still +2/+2 they need to consider. So yeah, I think it's a good card. Orochi Leaf Color. So this is your mana fixing. So it's a 1 mana 1/1 in green, and for green you can add any mana of any color. So it filters your green mana into other colors. If there's multicolor deck, then this is probably a key piece to that. Budoka Gardener, so that's a flip card here. It's a rare at that. So it's 2 mana human monk. It's 2/1, so it's serviceable stat line, and you can tap it, put a land card from your hand into a battlefield. If you have 10 or more lands, that's a long way away. But that's kind of suggests that we can cast the Myojins in this format. Then you flip it, and when it's flipped, it actually becomes a 3/3. And for 6 mana, create an X green elemental creature token when X is the number of lands you control. Yeah, I mean, you need to work a lot for it, but if this flips, there's no way that you are not winning the game. Yeah, it's just like unbelievable when you start activating this. So yeah, so there you go. Dripping Tongue Zubara, so this is the green Zubara. It's a 2 mana 1/2, same stat line, and when it dies, you put a 1/1 colorless spirit token into play. Yeah, I think it's okay. It's quite okay. Yeah, it leaves the body, blocks, maybe trades. It's cool stuff. So yeah, Humble Budoka is another good card, I think, in an aggressive, especially in an aggressive deck. It's a 2 mana 2/2 with Shroud. So yeah, so it does not, it's not hexproof with Shroud, so you can target it either. But it's solid. It will engage in combat. Your opponent can just kill it, and they might just take damage from it. So yeah, or if you need a blocker, they can't remove this. It's gonna block and engage in combat. So yeah, I think it's not bad. Orochi Ranger, so that's like a 2 mana Snake Warrior Ranger for 2/1, so it's baseline stats. Whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, tap that creature and doesn't untap during its control's next untap step. Okay, that's a slight upside. I think it's a C. Decent card. Orochi Sustainer. So it's a 2 mana 1/2 tap, add a green. Yeah, mana rock. So I think it's great. It's a mana of well, it's snake, but you get the idea. It's pretty good. Sakura Tribal, they're also pretty good. So it's a 2 mana 1/1 snake shaman. You can sacrifice this search library for a basic land card, put that onto the battlefield tap, and then shuffle. Yeah, so it's color fixing and ramp. You can wait for it to get like a good block, and then you avoid some damage, and then you ramp into your next play. Yeah, solid card. Soul Shaper, it's a 2 mana 1/1 spirit, and whenever you cast a spirit or arcane spell, target land becomes a 3/3 creature on the end of turn and still a land. Yeah, this is also I think a good card. Like especially in an aggressive deck where you don't really care about having mana for the late game, but you can activate those land to attack. Yeah, it's pretty solid. Time of Need. So it's 2 mana sorcery. Search a library for legendary creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. Almost all of your rare creatures gonna be legendary, and you're gonna have some uncommons as well. So I think this card is actually pretty good in this format. It's kind of like demonic tutor for a creature, a good creature at that. Wear away, so it's a 2 mana green green instant arcane, destroy target artifact or enchantment, which wouldn't be too insane, but you can splice it for 4. Yeah, I mean, if you put it to sideboard, it's kind of insane. I don't know how main deckable it is. There are enchantments, there are artifacts in this set, so yeah, I mean, you need to figure it out. But the splice, I think it makes this card pretty cool if it's in sideboard. Azusa Lost But Seeking, so we know this for Breaking Modern as well. So it's a legendary human monk for 3 mana. It's a 1/2, and then you may play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. So you just need like a Wheel of Fortune effect for this or something to draw those extra lands. I don't think it's very good in limited because it's a weak body, and then the ramping, I don't know if it matters that much. You still need to draw the extra land. The good cards come at 6, 7, 8 mana cost, and then having like 3 mana on turn one is not like nearly as powerful as it would be in today's sets, I think. Those on the Falling Leaf, so it's a 3 mana 2/2 legendary creature, human monk, another legend. Player can cast spells only during their own turns. It's okay. I don't think the limited environment is full of counter spells, but against blue deck it can help. Otherwise, it's a 3 mana 2/2 body. Heartbeat of Spring is an enchantment. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of any type that land produces. So basically doubles up the mana production for lands. In a green deck, that might be good, because if we have like two Myogenes or very expensive cards, then this might be the solution here. Otherwise, I wouldn't replay it in a normal average limited deck. Coming off the Hunt, it's a 3 mana 2/2 Spirit. Whenever you cast a Spirit or Arcane spell, it gets +1/+1 till the end of turn. Yeah, it's pretty okay. Like every instant arcane is a combat trick with that. So maybe there is an arcane overlap with these cards. Who knows? Kodama's Reach, there's also an arcane. So it's a 3 mana, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards, put one of them in the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand and then shuffle. So yeah, if there's a 5 color deck in this format, it's definitely revolving around green. This is another excellent ramp spell. It's kind of green divination. You got 2 cards out of it, one rams you. Yeah, that's everything to like here. So, but moving on. Lure, yeah, this is a classic. It's 3 mana enchantment, and every creature blocks enchanted creature that can do so. Yeah, it's good. It's good. If you have any big creature, you can make a massacre on it, or alternatively, you can use it on your small creature and lure away all the blockers, and then finish your opponents off. There you go. That's your trick. Matsu Tribe Decoy, it's a 3 mana Snake Warrior, 1/3, and then for 3 mana, target creature blocks this if able, and whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, tap that creature and doesn't untap in the controller's next untap step. It's like kind of like mini decoy too. Yeah, I don't know. This could be situational, but it could work in some cases. Orokchi Egg Watcher. So this is another flip card, 3 mana Snake Shaman as a 1/1. That's how it starts. And then for 3, you can create a 1/1 green snake creature token. If you have 10 or more creatures, you flip it. And if you flip it, you get a 3/3. And for green, you can sacrifice creature, target creature gets giant growth on it. I think this is pretty good when it's flipped, because you have all these little snake tokens and everything. Like real creatures, when they get through, they can get a lot of bumps from it. So yeah, that's pretty okay. Serpent Skin, so it's a 3 mana enchantment flash. So this is the flash cycle enchantment for green, and the enchanted creature gets +1/+1, and you can regenerate it for green. Wow. Yeah, this thing is very good. I think it mitigates a big part of the problem with these auras, that you get 2 for 1 to creatures regeneration. So yeah, this is a good one. Burgrafter, so it's a 4 mana 2/2 spirit, and then you can sacrifice it, target creature gets +2/+2, and it gets Soul Shift. Now this is an onboard combat trick, but I don't think it's bad at all. Because you sacrifice, you get back the card, some mana reduction, but you get a 2/2 buff out of it. Your opponent has to respect this. Pharaoh Deceiver, so this is the green Deceiver, 4 mana for 3/2. For 1 mana, you look at the top card, and if it's a land, for 2 mana, it gets +2/+2 and trample on the end of turn. Yeah, this one is very good, I think. Because, you can, if you do the joke, then this becomes a 5/4 trampler. So they can't ignore it, but it's really hard to block too. So there you go. Just Respite. So this is probably a bad arcane spell. So this is a 4 mana sorcery. You gain 1 life for each land you control. Ugh. No, we don't want that. And we can't even cycle, so don't play this. Kashi Tribe Weaver, so it's a 4 mana 3/2, and whenever it deals combat damage to your creature, tap it and doesn't untap during the next untap step. So this is actually the Kashi Tribe ability, it looks like. And for 1 other green, you can regenerate it. I think this is solid playable card. Yeah, Kodama of the South Tree. So this is a rare. It's a 4 mana 4/4, already good stat line. It's a spirit. And whenever you cast a spirit or arcane spell, each other creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. Now this one is really good, especially if you have like snakes or like your board goes wide, then it's not unheard of to cast like two arcane spells or spirits at one turn and just give your team like +2/+2 and trample. That's like overrun. Wow. Nature's Will, so it's a 4 mana enchantment. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to player, tap all lands that player control and untap all lands you control. That's an interesting one. Normally, I would say that this is not good in limited, but the fact that you can basically almost like double turn, you don't get the combat, but like let's say you have a flyer, you dump creatures before combat, hit them with the flyer on tap and dump more creatures, then you can get ahead pretty quickly with this. Now it's 4 mana do nothing, so I don't know if you know how much that matters. Yeah, this one is a black horse for me. I don't know what to think of this card, so time will tell. Order of the Sacred Bell. So it's a 4 mana 4/3 human monk, no abilities. I think this is actually quite okay. It's a big body and it's also a serviceable. Uh, it's an important part of the curve. So yeah, so if you don't open anything better, then this you can put it to your deck. Root Runner. So it's a 4 mana spirit 3/3. And then for green green, you can sacrifice it, put target land on top of its owner's library. Hmm. Interesting. It has Soul Shift 3, so there's some value to be gained here. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad card. It's quite okay, I think. So another good 4 drop. It's Sachi or Daughter of Sashiro. So it's 4 mana for a 1/3, and then other snake creatures you control get +1, so more toughness. And shamans you control have tap add green green. So most of the snakes are also shamans or warriors, so you can get a lot of mana out of this one. So yeah, so I think it's a solid point in the curve, especially if you have like big bombs in your deck. And another one, legendary Shishato Whispering Hunter. So it's a snake warrior as well. It's 2/2 for 4 mana, which is not that impressive. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a snake, and when it deals combat damage to a player, that player skips their next on-tap step. Yeah, the ability is pretty powerful if you can get it through. I mean, skipping the on-tap step is a big deal. So this can finish off games in like 1 or 2 turns. Sasuke, son of Seshiro. So it's a 4 mana 3/4, and other creatures get +1/+. So the daughter gives the toughness, the son gives the power, and whenever a warrior you control this combat damage creature, destroy that creature at the end of combat. Wow. So the snake warriors get death touch basically. Hmm. Yeah, this card is solid. I think it's really, really good. Feast of the World. So this is a 5 mana arcade sorcery, destroy target land. If that was legendary, its controller sacrifice another land of their choice. Wow. So there's a cycle of legendary rare lands in this format, so maybe that's protection from that. Otherwise, a 5 mana Stone Rain, so don't play it if your opponent doesn't have anything like that, which is important. And even if they have, like, I think it's a very marginal card. Gale Force, it's 4 mana sorcery, it deals 5 damage to each creature with flying. That is very good, I think, because even if they have one flyer, that's usually the problematic creature. Like it's kill the creature for 5 mana what you want to kill. If they have two flyers, then you are in business with this. So then we get to the 5 mana Green Hondan legendary enchantment shrine. At the beginning of your upkeep, you create a 1/1 spirit for each shrine you control. Again, the more shrine you have, the better it is. So Kashi Warriors, Okash type warriors, 5 mana snake warrior, and whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, tap that creature doesn't untap its controller's next untap step, and it has a 2/4 stat line. So this is not bad. This can hold the ground pretty well. So the North Tree Kodama, so that's like 5 mana, 1 mana more than the other one for a 6/4, so it's good stat line, and it has Trample and Shroud. Yeah, I mean, this card is a beating. Yeah, they can't block it and they can't kill it. So there you go. It's like at least a guaranteed 2/1. Strength of Cedars, it's a 5 mana instant arcane. Target creature has +6/+6 until end of turn, where X is the number of lands you control. So at least +5/5. Wow, it's quite the combat trick. So yeah, this can kill your opponent very easily. Venerable Kumo, so this is not a spider, it's a spirit. And it's 5 mana 2/3 with reach, but it does have Soul Shift 4. Wow, this one is a good card. This was really good. Blocks their flyers, gets back creatures, yeah, awesome stuff. Iname, life aspects. So it's 6 mana 4 spirit, already not too bad. When it dies, you may exile it. If you do, return any number of target spirit cards from your graveyard to your hand. Wow. Sure. Yeah, I mean, unbelievable card. Like, you're gonna return like 6 creatures. Yeah, it's really good. Jugand Rising Star, so it's also 6 mana 5/5 flyer, very good. And when it dies, you may distribute 5+1/+1 counters among a number of target creatures. Yeah, this might actually be the best dragon in limited formats because the +1/+1 counters really matter, and it's 5 of them. If you have 2 additional creatures, they both become the best creatures on the board when this dies. And yeah, like this is just such a beating this card, or it just kills them. So Moskami, it's a 6 mana 5/5 trample spirit. Yeah, I mean this is the common you want in your top end. Um, o- Orbeaver Kumo, so it's a 6 mana 3/4 with reach. So let's see what the ability is on it. Whenever it casts a spirit or arcane spell, it gains first walk until end of turn. I don't know if this is very good though. So it does have reach, it stabilizes you, but your opponent has to be in green for this to become unblockable. Womp womp. You still play it, I think, because yeah, it's just decent stat line. So Sashiro, the Anointed, so it's a snake monk, 3/4, and other snakes gets +2/+2. Wow, he's quite the leader. And whenever a snake you control deals combat damage to player, you may draw a card. Yeah, this is the lore you want in your snake deck. So in that deck, it's A plus. Yeah, otherwise he draws a card for himself. So with a few snakes, you would still play this card. Wine Kami, so it's 7 mana for 4 with Menace. Whew. And then Soul Shift 6. Yeah, impeccable. Yeah, it's a very very good card. So it's also common, notable. And then this is where get red, the green gets really good with like going over the top, right? It's an 8 mana, 1000 left Kami Spirit, and it has 6/6 stats, which is already very big stats, and Soul Shift 7. Wow. Jesus, green is living up to its name. And then we have the Myogene of Life Web, so that's the green Myogene, so it's a 6 mana, so 9 mana, 6 green, green, legendary spirit creature, 8/8, great stats, and then comes with the counter, it's indestructible 8/8. I don't know what more needs to be on this card, but let's see what is on it. Um, yeah, so if you remove a divinity counter, you can put a number of creature cards from your hand onto a battlefield. I don't think it's very relevant, honestly, because you probably have like, what is this? Yeah, like a lot of so this is probably your last card in your hand, is what I'm trying to say. And also, this might be the joke for Through the Breach, though. There you go. So yeah, so this was green for you. Thanks for watching, and we're gonna move on with colorless as the next video. So see you there.